Alright everybody, so I did a lot of searching on the internet, YouTube and pretty much all over. I didn't see any videos on an install for Undercover Flex on a 2014 Toyota Tundra Crewmax with the bed liner and the cargo rail system. So go ahead and open this thing up and get started. Alright, so we got everything unboxed. A couple things. You got some drain tubes here. You got the bulkhead seal here. 2 retainer clamps. You got a couple bolts and lock washers and flat washers, and all your retaining clamps here that'll lock into the rail system. Also, you have here the 2 mounting rails for the cover itself. So we got the driver's side one here and the passenger side one here, and the cover itself. And since this sits fairly flush with the bed of the truck, you will have to remove the Toyota tie downs right here. So you pull your end caps off, the rails slide the sides off the back and the front ones off the ends. I did mock up the rail, and it sits right on the tie down clamp, so it will not fit flush with the bed of the truck if they're installed. So we'll go ahead and get started on the install. Alright, so the way that you install these clamps for the bed rail is you just slide them into the bed rail system just like this. So you put it in there, slide it about to the position where you think it'll be before you put the rail up. Everything's really loose, so I can maneuver it around and get it in position before tightening it down. Okay, so you'll notice that along this rail there's a spot. There's 3 of them. They say clamp. Pretty self-explanatory. You should line your clamps up with that. Right now I just have them in finger tight, and I have the rail system about flush. So one of the first things I noticed is we should line up the end of this rail with where the tailgate will close up. It's fairly flush with that, and the reason being is because if you look up here, you'll notice there's a drain tube where the drain hose connects to, and if you go any farther it'll actually be outside of the bed liner. I've got it right about where I want it, so we'll go ahead and tighten it up using a 1/2" socket. Alright, so this is the passenger side. Did the same thing, lined up the rail right here where the cap is at, and gives a clearance for the tailgate to close up. Did the same thing here. Put the clamps right where it says clamp, and just finger tight in there for now. Lined everything up with the bed cap, and I found it is a little easier to drop this rod down so you can get that clamp in. They do clamp up on this little lip right in there. Alright, so I had to get everything lined up, tighten down all the bolts there, the 1/2" socket. Right, so we're going to go ahead and install this foam strip right here on the front bulkhead of the bed of the truck. I'm going to line this up right about here with this bed cap. It is about 3/4 of an inch wide or so. So we'll start here, run it all the way down, and definitely clean off that bulkhead rail before you go installing anything like this. Otherwise it'll come right off. Okay, so the foam seal is on, and right up to the very end where the foam seal will meet your bed cap, I'm going to trim it just a little bit extra, probably right about in here, so it fits, makes a better seal with the bed cap. There it is, trimmed up, and once I had it in place, I went ahead and went along and pressed down the seal. And it looks like it's good to go. It's pretty sticky seal. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the cover on. Okay, so what done here is went ahead and laid up the cover. I put it to where the seal I installed is lined up with the front seal on this cover. It's pretty close to being lined up with that. And then I installed the rods, kind of give me the 90-degree vertical, help me know if it's in about the right position or not. So I went ahead and put that rod in as well. And this side is about lined up with that seal also. This one's actually a little bit more forward, so we probably end up sliding that toward the back of the truck some. So we'll go ahead and lay it down and test out to see whether it is lined up in the bed of the truck or not, and if the tailgate will close. Alright, so we're going to test this out. You disconnect, push this rod to the right, give it a good pull, like so. Lock it in. Go ahead and do the other one. Disconnect that, give it a good pull. I'll lock that in. I'll go ahead and lay down the cover nice and gently. Try not to change the position of it as it lays right now. Should lock in. Pull the next one back. Lock that in. Alright, so the last piece we're going to do with the tailgate up to see how it fits. So what it looks like here is the whole piece needs to slide forward just a little bit, because this should just drop and shut nice and easy, the slam lock here. Alright, so what we did is we went ahead and slid it forward about 1/4 of an inch or so. You'll see that slid past the bed rail some, and the forward seal lays about 1/4 of an inch over the foam sill that we installed on the bulkhead earlier. Go ahead and test it out, try it again, and see if we got it lined up. Okay, so we'll see if it fits. Go ahead and close the tailgate and drop it in. So it looks like everything's locked into place. Seals are a little new, so once they feed up, they'll settle in real nice. And we'll go ahead and cinch down the front. I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. So hopefully you can see this here. Whoa. Right in there. This is where you're going to connect this piece with your bolt and your lock washer and your flat washer right there. So what you do is you slide that bolt into that rail right there, pretty easy, and then you're going to put this piece on like that, and it'll sit right in here on your rail system. And you put your flat washer, your lock washer, and the hand nut there. Okay, so that's what it looks like when it's installed. You crank down this until you feel it stop. A nice grab on it, you'll feel it, it's pretty obvious. And everything should be in there nice and snug. And that'll hold it in place where you made your adjustment to line the cover up with the bed frame. This is the driver's side. Installed the same way, slide the bolt through, put the clamp on, put your flat washer, then your lock washer, and then this hand nut here. You tighten it up till it stops. Okay, so on the final closure, I looked at the seal. It wasn't quite as tight down as I would have liked it to have been, so what I did was I climbed underneath, and every one of those silver clamps, these right here, I just loosened them up a little bit and let the cover settle in some, and then tighten them back down, not too tight, as they are aluminum clamps. We'll close it up, gonna go ahead and slam this sucker down. And alright, so here's where you're gonna hook up your drain tube. There's a nipple right up in here. You slide it all the way up on there, nice and snug. I don't want to drill any holes in the bed cover, so I'm just gonna run this drain tube right out this prefabbed hole where the tie down point is at. Right out the bed there. Shouldn't really interfere too much with that tie down, and the water will just run out underneath this cover and right outside the bed. So if you don't have a cover on your truck, you're probably getting water underneath it anyways. So until I figure out this mod for this thing, we will just run it out through those prefabbed holes in the bed liner. Alright, so there it is installed. Move the location for a little bit better light. The seals do come up just a little bit where it folds, but there is a double seal in there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it goes down into that drain system. So a little bit of heat and that rubber will probably settle in some. That's about where it sits right now. Comes up past that seal just a little bit. It's alright though. It looks like it'd be a much better fit without the insert in the bed. So there you have it. Here's how she looks on the truck. Pretty flat. So hope you guys liked the video, and I hope it was informative.